Ladies and gentlemen, most people want success, but very few are willing to define it. The first step toward any meaningful achievement begins with clarity. Clear goals. A goal is not a vague wish, it's a written commitment. It's the difference between saying, I want to be successful, and declaring, I will build a business that impacts lives within the next 2 years. Jim Rohn often said, goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. You see, goals are not just targets, they are magnets. They pull you toward a better version of yourself. They make you rise early, stay late, and refuse to settle for average. When you have goals, you stop living on autopilot. You start living with purpose. And the beautiful thing is, the moment you set a real goal, life begins to move around you. Opportunities that were once invisible suddenly appear. People who can help you start showing up. The universe responds to clarity. But the tragedy is, most people never take the time to write down what they truly want. They drift, waiting for luck to strike, forgetting that life doesn't reward the drifters. It rewards the doers. Your goals are the foundation of your destiny. Without them, you're just moving but not progressing. So don't just think about what you want. Define it, write it, visualize it, and live it until it becomes reality. Having goals without a plan is like owning a ship without a map. You'll float, but you'll never arrive. A plan is your bridge from dreams to action. Jim Rohn used to remind us that discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Planning is the art of turning inspiration into structure. It's where ideas meet strategy, where passion meets practicality. When you plan, you give direction to your desire. You decide what needs to happen, when, and how. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Every great success story started with a blueprint, even if that blueprint evolved over time. You might not know the entire path ahead, but planning gives you the next step, and that's enough to begin. Most people get trapped in the illusion of motivation. They feel fired up for a moment, but fail to build the framework that sustains action. A solid plan is your insurance against inconsistency. It keeps you focused when excitement fades and reminds you why you started when things get tough. Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Dreams don't come true through magic, they come true through method. So take your vision, break it down into achievable actions, and set measurable checkpoints. Don't just hope for the best, prepare for it. Because preparation is the silent partner of success. Every dream has a price tag. You can't cheat the cost of greatness. You can't get the reward without paying in discipline, effort, and sacrifice. The question is not whether you can succeed, it's whether you're willing to pay the price success demands. Jim Rohn said, "We must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline hurts now, but regret lasts forever. Every early morning, every late night, every rejection, and every failure you endure is part of the payment. Nothing worthwhile is ever cheap." The universe tests your seriousness by asking, how bad do you want it? Some people say they want success, but they also want comfort. They want results, but not the responsibility. And that's where most dreams die, in the gap between wanting and working. Success doesn't come to those who try. It comes to those who commit fully, no matter how steep the cost. You'll lose friends who don't understand your vision. You'll face days when quitting feels easier. But remember, every struggle sharpens you. Every sacrifice molds you into someone capable of holding the success you desire. You don't get paid for what you want. You get paid for what you earn. So pay the price gladly, because the reward is not just the success itself. It's the person you become on the way there. Most people wake up every day and rush into their routines without asking a single important question. What am I really aiming for? Life without a goal is like driving with no destination. busy but going nowhere. Jim Rohn used to say, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Goals give shape to your days, direction to your effort, and power to your purpose. A person with a clear goal becomes unstoppable because when you know what you're after, every obstacle becomes just another step in the process. The first step toward any meaningful achievement is clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. You cannot chase a dream you have not defined. So many people say they want to be successful, but when asked, what does success look like for you? They go silent. They haven't thought it through. They're living on wishes, not goals. But wishing is cheap. It's like throwing coins into a fountain and hoping for magic. True achievers don't wish, they decide. A real goal is not just a thought in your mind, it's a written statement of intent. There's something powerful about taking what's inside your imagination and putting it on paper. Writing forces you to define what you mean. It transforms an invisible dream into a visible plan. When you write, I will start my own business within the next 2 years, something happens. It's like lighting a fire inside yourself. That statement begins to demand your attention, your energy, and your time. You start seeing opportunities you never noticed before because now your mind has a filter. It's scanning for anything that can move you closer to that goal. That's how the human brain works. It finds what it focuses on. So if you focus on clarity, you'll start attracting clarity. Goals are like magnets. They pull you toward a better version of yourself. They make you rise earlier, think sharper, and act with more purpose. A person without goals wakes up tired. A person with goals wakes up charged. Think about it. Why do some people accomplish in 1 year what others can't in 10? It's not luck, and it's not intelligence. It's direction. They know exactly where they're going, and because of that, every choice becomes easier. Every yes and every no aligns with the destination. That's the secret. Clarity simplifies everything. When you know your goal, you stop wasting time on distractions. You stop caring about other people's approval because you're too busy chasing your vision. But here's the tragedy. Most people never take that step. They drift through life, letting the years roll by hoping something good will happen. They wait for motivation, for the perfect moment, for the right partner, the right time, but it never comes. There is no right time. There's only now, and the moment you take responsibility for setting a goal, your life begins to shift. You move from being a passenger to being the driver. You start to command your days instead of reacting to them. That's what Jim Rohn meant when he said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better, because goals make you better. They stretch you beyond your comfort zone. They force you to grow, to learn, to adapt, to become someone worthy of the reward you're chasing. A goal doesn't just change what you get, it changes who you are. Imagine a person who decides to run a marathon. The finish line isn't the point. The point is the transformation that happens along the way. The discipline, the mental toughness, the commitment to show up even when it's hard. That's what goals do. They shape your character. And the stronger your character, the more capable you become of achieving even bigger dreams. Success, then, is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. But to attract success, your goals must be specific. I want to be rich is not a goal. It's a vague wish. I want to earn $100,000 by building my design business within a year is a goal. That's clear, measurable, and actionable. It gives your mind a mission. It tells your habits what to focus on. Without specifics, your goals have no grip. You can't grab a cloud. You need something solid. That's why clarity is power. The clearer your goals, the stronger your drive. And remember, goals must live in the real world, not just in your head. Visualization is powerful, yes, but visualization without action is hallucination. The moment you decide what you want, back it up with a plan. Break it into steps, milestones, and timelines. Don't worry if it's not perfect, it never will be. You can always adjust along the way. The key is to start moving, because progress fuels motivation, and motion creates momentum. The more progress you see, the more belief you build. And belief, real unshakable belief, turns an ordinary person into a force of nature. Look around at the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. They're not special. They're just clear. They knew what they wanted, they wrote it down, and they didn't stop until it became real. The world bends for those who know where they're going. It steps aside for people with purpose. So if you're tired of drifting, if you're tired of waiting for something to change, then take control. Sit down, think deeply, and write your goals. Be honest about what you truly want, not what others expect from you, not what looks good on paper, but what sets your soul on fire. Because when you have goals that come from your heart, not your ego, you won't need external motivation. You'll move naturally, passionately, relentlessly. That's the essence of real success. Having something to aim for, something that excites you enough to pull you out of bed when you don't feel like it, something that reminds you every day why you can't quit. Goals give meaning to the struggle and purpose to the pain. Without them, even comfort feels empty. With them, even the toughest days feel worthwhile. Having goals is essential, but without a plan, they're nothing more than beautifully worded dreams. A goal without a plan is like building a house without a blueprint. You can have all the materials, all the motivation, and even the perfect spot, but without a structured approach, you'll end up with chaos instead of creation. Rohn often reminded his listeners that success doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to design. That means you can't hope your way to success. You have to plan your way there. A plan is what turns invisible dreams into visible results. It's the bridge between inspiration and execution. The silent architect behind every great achievement. Most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they lack structure. They get fired up after a motivational speech. They set grand goals, and for a few days they work like champions. Then something happens, life gets busy, distractions creep in, enthusiasm fades, and their vision starts to blur. That's where a plan steps in. A plan gives you a map when motivation disappears. It tells you what to do when you don't feel like doing anything. It keeps your emotions in check and your focus in line. Without a plan, you'll always be reactive instead of proactive. You'll spend your days putting out fires instead of building dreams. Planning turns your time from something that happens to you into something you control. When you plan, you give form to your future. You don't just dream about where you want to go. You chart a route to get there. Rohn used to say, "Don't start your day until you have finished it on paper." That's more than a clever phrase, it's a philosophy. It means don't step into the battlefield of life without your strategy ready. The moment you put your plans on paper, you shift from wishing to working. You move from emotion to execution. You start thinking like a designer, not a drifter. Planning helps you anticipate challenges before they come. It helps you identify what resources you need, who you need to talk to, what skills to develop, and how much time it will take. Every successful person, from entrepreneurs to athletes, plans their path in advance. They might not know every step, but they always know the next step. Now, it's important to understand that a plan is not about perfection. It's about progress. People often delay planning because they think they need to have everything figured out. They wait until they feel ready. But you'll never feel fully ready because planning is not prediction, it's preparation. It's a living process. You make a plan, you act on it, you learn from it, and then you refine it. That's how you build momentum. The best plan is not the one that looks perfect on paper, but the one you're willing to follow through with every day. Even a flawed plan executed with consistency will outperform a perfect plan that's never started. Another truth about planning is that it teaches discipline. It forces you to prioritize what matters most. You can't say yes to everything when you're following a plan, because every yes means a no to something else. A plan filters out distractions. It protects your time and energy. Without one, everything feels urgent. With one, only the right things matter. Planning makes you intentional. It gives your days a mission. And that mission keeps you grounded when excitement fades and doubt creeps in. Because let's face it, motivation will not always be there. You won't wake up every day feeling unstoppable. There will be days when your dreams feel far away, when nothing goes as planned. But ironically, those are the days when your plan saves you. When emotions say quit, your plan whispers, keep going. You're not done yet. Think about the people who achieve extraordinary results. They're not always the smartest or the most talented. They're the most organized. They think ahead. They plan their weeks, their routines, their habits. Success leaves clues, and one of the biggest is preparation. You don't stumble into success, you plan into it. And when you do, something amazing happens. Confidence grows. Because when you know what you're doing tomorrow, you sleep better tonight. When you have a roadmap, uncertainty doesn't scare you. It excites you. Planning doesn't remove risk, but it reduces chaos. It turns overwhelming dreams into manageable tasks. Instead of staring at the mountain, you focus on the next step. And every small step completed gives you proof that you're moving forward. Rohn said, "Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons." Planning is the discipline that prevents the heavy weight of regret. You don't have to live wondering what could have been. You can live knowing you gave your best because you followed a structure designed for success. And when your plan meets persistence, life begins to respond in extraordinary ways. Doors start to open, people begin to notice, and opportunities align with your direction. Planning doesn't just shape your time, it shapes your destiny. But here's the catch. Your plan must be flexible. Life won't follow your script. There will be detours, delays, and disappointments. The purpose of a plan is not to control everything. It's to guide your response when things change. Flexibility keeps you adaptable, while commitment keeps you steady. The plan is not the goal, it's the path. If the path bends, you bend with it. But you never lose sight of where you're going. That's how real progress happens. Not in a straight line, but through consistent course correction. When you plan with intention, every day gains meaning. You stop being a wanderer and become a builder. You no longer hope life will work out. You make it work out. You start each day knowing what matters, and you end each night with a sense of fulfillment, not frustration. That's what separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers talk about what they want, achievers plan for it. Planning doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees that if you fail, you'll fail forward, with purpose, with lessons, and with progress. And that's the kind of failure that leads to greatness. Every dream you have comes with a price tag attached to it, and that price is not paid in money. It's paid in effort, discipline, and sacrifice. The truth is, you can have almost anything you want in life, but you can't have it for free. Success demands payment in advance. You must do the work long before the rewards show up. Rohn said it best, we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline is hard, but regret is unbearable. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. That's the price of greatness. And most people never reach their potential not because they lack talent, but because they refuse to pay the price that success demands. They want the comfort without the cost, the reward without the responsibility, the spotlight without the struggle. But the world doesn't work that way. Every time you set a goal and make a plan, life will ask you one question: how bad do you want it? That question separates the dreamers from the doers. When you truly want something, you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop saying, "I'll try," and start saying, "I will." You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. Paying the price means waking up when you don't feel like it. It means doing the work when no one is watching. It means giving up comfort now to gain power later. There are no shortcuts, no cheat codes, no easy roads. Every great success story you admire, every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader paid a price that most people are unwilling to pay. It's easy to admire someone else's success, but what you don't see is the part of the story written in sweat, sacrifice, and sleepless nights. You see the results, but not the resistance they faced. You see the fame, but not the failures that came before it. You see the confidence, but not the countless hours of doubt and rejection. The price of success is invisible to the casual observer, but it's always there, waiting to be paid. And those who pay it, those who endure the grind, the discipline, the setbacks, are the ones who earn the privilege of living their dreams. The price you pay also includes the people you might lose along the way. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some will question your ambition, mock your discipline, or call you obsessed. They won't see your vision, they'll only see your distance. And that's okay. Growth often requires isolation. To move from average to exceptional, you must be willing to walk alone for a while. That's the cost of chasing greatness. Because when you're serious about your goals, you stop fitting into places built for comfort. You start living at a higher standard, a standard most people avoid because it demands consistency. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's investment. Every early morning you spend working, every night you spend learning instead of relaxing, every comfort you postpone adds interest to your future success. It's like depositing effort into a bank account that will someday pay you back with freedom, confidence, and fulfillment. But here's the catch. You don't know when the return will come. That uncertainty is part of the price. You have to work when results are invisible. You have to believe when evidence is missing. You have to stay disciplined when progress feels slow. Most people quit because they want harvest in the same season they plant the seeds. But success doesn't work that way. First comes the planning, then the nurturing, and only much later, the harvest. The time gap tests your patience, and that's what filters out the weak from the strong. Paying the price also means facing failure head on. You will fail, you will stumble, you will question yourself, but each failure is just part of the tuition you pay to learn success. Every mistake teaches you something money can't buy. Rohn said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The struggle is not there to stop you. It's there to strengthen you. The pain you feel now is building the power you'll need later. And that's the hidden beauty of paying the price. It not only gives you the result, it transforms you into someone capable of sustaining it. Because success earned through struggle has roots, deep roots that can weather any storm. Many people want to skip the hard parts. They want the applause, but not the process. They want the success story without the sweat story. But that's like wanting to reap a crop without ever planting a seed. The price of success is unavoidable. You can delay it, but you can't escape it. If you avoid the small sacrifices now, you'll face bigger regrets later. If you avoid discipline today, you'll pay in disappointment tomorrow. Every decision you make is a trade comfort now or success later. And if you choose comfort too often, success becomes a stranger. But there's something powerful about paying the price with pride. when you give your all, when you push past exhaustion, when you stay focused despite obstacles, you develop a quiet confidence that no one can take from you. You start to realize that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. You no longer fear hard work because you've made peace with the price. You wear it like armor. You understand that every bit of pain, every ounce of struggle, every lonely hour is buying you something priceless: growth, mastery, and self-respect. And that's the ultimate reward of paying the price. You don't just achieve success, you become someone worthy of it. The process carves you into the kind of person who can handle abundance without arrogance, victory without vanity, and power without pride. You learn patience, humility, and endurance. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing greatness. Because once you've walked through the fire, you realize the fire wasn't there to burn you. It was there to forge you. And when you finally reach your dream, when you stand at the top and look back at the road you climbed, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt will make perfect sense. You'll smile knowing you didn't get lucky. You earned it, step by step, payment by payment, until the price was paid in full. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one truth that life will never stop teaching us, it's this: mess nothing worth having will ever come easy. You can't wish your way to success. You can't talk your way into greatness. And you can't wait your way to achievement. You must act, plan, and pay the price. Because the moment you decide what you truly want, life begins to test how much you're willing to sacrifice to get it. The world doesn't hand out trophies for intentions. It rewards execution. It rewards the man or woman who dares to say, "I will not stop until I make it happen." Jim Rohn said, "The major value in life is not what you get. The major value is what you become." Think about that for a second. Success is not about the car, the house, the title, or the applause. Those are byproducts. The real reward is who you become through the journey. The struggle molds you. The setbacks strengthen you. The sacrifices purify your purpose. Every early morning when you fought against the comfort of the pillow, every late night when you refused to give up, every obstacle that tried to break you, all of it was preparing you for the moment you'd finally stand tall and say, "I made it." Not because it was easy, but because I refused to quit. So you see, success doesn't come to those who sit around waiting for motivation. It comes to those who build discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation disappears. Discipline whispers in your ear when no one else believes in you. It tells you, one more rep, one more call, one more try. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Dreamers talk about what they'll do someday. Doers act today. Dreamers say, "I hope." Doers say, "I will." The difference isn't luck, it's commitment. But let's be honest, there will be days when you'll feel like giving up. Days when your plan falls apart, when your goals feel too far, when your efforts seem invisible. Those are the moments that define you. That's when you have to remember why you started. When your mind says no, let your heart say, go. When the world goes quiet, let your vision speak louder. Because the truth is, the darkest nights create the brightest stars. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean your effort is wasted. Growth happens in silence. The roots grow deep long before the tree appears. So keep watering your dreams. Keep showing up. Keep pushing forward. You're closer than you think. Jim Rohn once said, "For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better." Life doesn't respond to your complaints. It responds to your growth. If you want more, you must become more. If you want success, you must outgrow your excuses. You can't rise while holding on to your limitations. So stop saying, "I can't." Stop saying, "I'll try." Say, "I will." Say it with conviction. Say it with belief, and then back it up with action. Because belief without effort is fantasy, and effort without direction is waste. You need both, faith and fight. And yes, the price will be heavy. You'll lose sleep. You'll lose comfort. You might lose people who don't understand your vision. But remember this, those who laugh at your discipline today will one day applaud your results. Those who doubted you will one day quote you. So never let their opinions become your ceiling. You were not born to live small. You were born to grow, to rise, to conquer. Your dreams are not accidents, they are assignments. If you feel a fire burning inside you, it's because your destiny is calling, and it will not stop calling until you answer. Success doesn't demand perfection. It demands persistence. It demands that you keep moving, even when you're crawling. It demands that you keep believing, even when you're bleeding. Because winners are not those who never fall. They're the ones who fall 100 times and rise 101. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a setup for a greater comeback. So when life knocks you down, don't stay there. Get up, straighten your back, and say, is that all you've got? Because the moment you refuse to stay down, life has no choice but to respect your strength. Let your goals remind you who you are. Let your plans guide your steps. And let the price you pay become your badge of honor. Don't run from the struggle, run toward it. Because inside that struggle is the version of you that's unstoppable, unbreakable, and undeniable. You are not here by accident. You are here to rise, to create, to make an impact. You have gifts the world needs. You have potential that's waiting to be unleashed. So don't play small just to make others comfortable. Don't dim your light because others can't handle your shine. The world doesn't need more people who settle. It needs people who dare. When you look in the mirror tonight, don't just see who you are. See who you're becoming. See the person who's willing to keep going when others stop. See the warrior who refuses to bow to fear. See the fighter who's building something eternal, not just a dream, but a legacy. Because that's what this journey is about. Not just reaching the goal, but becoming someone who inspires others to believe in their own. So stand tall. Speak your dream out loud. Don't whisper it, declare it. Say, this is my time. This is my turn. This is my season. Let the world feel your determination. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Keep building, keep believing, keep becoming. Because one day, you'll look back at this moment, the struggle, the grind, the uncertainty, and you'll realize this was the turning point. This was when you decided to stop waiting and start creating. This was when everything changed. And when that day comes, when you finally stand where you once only dreamed of standing, you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. You'll realize that the pain, the price, the perseverance, it all had a purpose. It built you in the kind of person who doesn't just chase success, but commands it. And that's the real victory. Not the applause, not the reward, but the realization that you became unstoppable. So go pay the price, follow your plan, chase your goal, and write your story. Because your time is now.